And we're live on YouTube. We're live. Welcome to our first live stream. If you were waiting for our earlier live stream at 11 a.m., apologies. As always, there's technical difficulties when we're trying to do more than one thing at once, and that's a really valuable lesson. Focus on doing one thing the best you can. So here we are on YouTube. We're going to talk about app training with my good friend Diego Sebastian, who you may recognize from about 1 million magazine covers. We've been here training shoulders, hitting some arms, just catching up and trying to give out some good tips and information. So now that we've really warmed up, let's get down to the basics, abdominals and fundamentals. We'll each do an exercise. We'll each be talking, answering any of your questions. So I guess, well, where do we start? What do you want to start with, guys?
I basically attack the abs, heavy sets first.
Okay.
Usually do drop sets, maximum of 25 reps, maximum weight, drop that weight to half, you do like 25. Between 3 or 4 sets of those, and then go to like four exercises.
Do you do a circuit, or do you do one exercise?
I'll do a circuit at the end. Okay. Let's say if we do like cable, heavy crunches, I'll stay there, go heavy, go light.
Okay.
You know, and then bounce over to
let's start with that. Cable crunch is one of my favorite abdominal exercises.
It's so basic, but it's just it's a staple. You walk around it. If you want to develop those 3D abs, it's a muscle, you have to build it. If you just want to stay lean, go for more of the high reps, low weight. Use a tricep bar.
Yeah, so open it out to a full. Full breakdown. Are we using the motion board at all?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So what do you want to do? Some rope punches?
Yeah, short punches first. I'll just start off.
All right, show me what you got.
Here, throw this on. So you don't slip off the ball. And basically, we're just going to create some tension in the core area. And then lock in. This doesn't have the bands on it, does it?
Now you want bands back on?
No, it's fine. So it's about half my body weight.
Wait. I think if we're training abs, let's.
You want to put the bands on?
Yeah, let's. Well, no. I mean, let's get the tops off. Let's really show what we're doing, emphasizing the muscles being worked. Show the breathing. If you're down for that, I mean, after all, we're shooting for magazine covers. Let's show everyone how it really works. I'm going to move this camera around so we can really get a nice side profile.
I'm just going to start getting my reps and when you set that up.
Yeah, go for it.
So basically, I'm going to go 25 reps superset. You create your own leverage points here and how you shift your body. When you're really good, you don't have to touch the ground. I'm not there right now. It's a good soft spot. And then drop the weight. And just a slow tempo.
I hear you focusing on the breathing during the execution of the rep, the concentric, putting the rope down. How important for you is it with breathing, coinciding your reps with exhaling?
It's so important to track the muscle, releasing, and getting that tempo. You can try having as much air in the body as possible, get rid of that muscle contraction. So kind of the timing thing of inhaling and exhaling.
I was like to think that you're bracing your core as though someone's going to punch you up.
Exactly.
And by bracing your core, you've already got the muscles contracted. You've fallen through. It just really doesn't have to be a full range movement. You know, elbows don't need to come down to the floor. You're just crunching your shoulders down towards your waist.
Basically, finding your leverage point in your core and just keeping that negative and positive without releasing it. see his range of motion is even smaller than mine. He keeps it super up, super tight. And you can see the serratus and the upper arm mostly working right there.
Yeah, the arms are just holding along for the ride.
Yeah, that's one of the hard things is to do. Not letting your arm get involved. So we'll do a couple sets here, super set, and then just drop the weight.
Yeah, I love that one.
And then actually, while you're doing those, I'll do some leg lifts.
I love that. We're going to comment here. Someone said, this guy is 50. Let that sink in. And that just goes to show that, I mean, look, in our teens and 20s, that's all we care about, really. Certainly for me, I want to have a body, I want to look good. When we start going through our late 20s, 30s, into our 40s, work, career, family, other responsibilities start to
It's quite a life.
But you've been able to sustain it. How is that? How is your...
Part of it was basically being in the business, of course, but at the same time, it's a passion, you know. It's like, you know, you're constantly evolving in different, like every 7 to 10 years, your metabolism changes and you evolve, you know, you're more conscious of what you put in your body. At one point, I couldn't even get out of bed. My back hurt so bad.
Oh, wow.
And just from overtraining, not taking care of myself, and then also, you know, it's like, how can I get rid of this without, you know, surgery or going to the doctor? And basically, I did a low inflammation, anti-inflammation diet. Stopped drinking, started doing more yoga and stretching, and doing some PT exercises, and the back pain went away. So, next chapter of my life, I want to enjoy it healthy. That's my point. And training is just part of the equation. Nobody takes up a small portion of the day.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have the knowledge base there, which is the reason why we're doing these videos, just to help share that and provide an access point for people to ask questions. So, whilst you're doing your next one, I'm going to walk over here and see what we got. Working with a lot of apps there. So we'll just ask about a lot of apps. So we've got a couple of great exercises there. Guys, comment where in the world you're watching from. Let us know, you know, the city, the country. Just want to kind of see where everyone is and any questions that you've got specifically relating to abdominal training, whether it's a particular region, just abs, or getting a flatter, more toned, stronger, more functional core. You know, we're here having a workout, but at the same time, back and forth on the computer, seeing what comments and questions you guys are putting out there, and seeing how we can share some of that wealth. Now, you like the line leg raises on there?
Yeah, just keep my back stable. We can go hanging too.
Yeah, we spoke about this the other day. I like hanging because it gets the serratus anterior.
Yeah, for sure. It's a big muscle.
And you know, I noticed a lot of people, I've done this too, they bring their whole legs up. Let me zoom in over here so you get nice.
This is like a stable exercise. It'll never go away.
Now, I always do something where my legs or my knees rather are coming up towards my chest. So if it's not the shoulders crunching forwards, it's the hips crunching forwards. And this perfect example. So wide chin up position, trying to let my legs hang free. You know what I do? Quickly exhale, draw the knees up towards, and back down. They get a nice feel of your butt there on the computer.
Oh.
Just one of the most effective basic exercises, but the lower abs only really work from this point up. So even if you want to just sit in this sort of
keep that narrow range of motion.
Even if you hang and your legs are on the floor, bring your knees up into a seated position. That's your start. Knees up. So I'm closing that sort of half moon, that cashew shape.
Do you isolate your serratus with like a little twist on this at all?
You know what I do? The serratus anterior, these?
Yeah.
I do some hanging side lifts. So I can sit here.
Yeah.
Right there. Oh. So I'm almost coming up to the side.
Sometimes I feel with those, I'll use my weight too much, and I don't want to build that part.
So we're talking about the serratus anterior.
It's so hard to
Here, you know what I find really works well for those? Pullovers,
Oh, for sure, yeah.
dumbbell pullovers, and suspension push-ups. You've got the TRX there. If we get them down into a suspended push-up, that's all the serratus anterior there, stabilizing us.
The easy one for me that's like it's easy to do. And that's like doing this Serratus.
So we're talking about these muscles here. Let me zoom in a little bit there.
And you really have to find your leverage point and just lock in right there.
Yeah, we're basically mimicking a pullover movement here.
Yep.
These
It's
muscles
much more-
here,
It's much more climbing the shoulder joints this way rather than
taking the weight behind us.
behind
and
your
going down.
head.
Yeah.
Because you're really just resisting right here and pulling through.
I'll give that one a try.
And then I would go from there to like a wood chop, a modified wood chop.
Yeah.
Just to even emphasize it a little bit more. And at this point, this is just aesthetic training. There's, it's just, it is what it is.
Throwing the Bosu ball there.
Do you ever have hip flexor issues when you do a lot of heavy?
Yeah, I do when I go running on the with the weight vest on.
Yeah, that's something that is inevitable for anybody on lifted who trains hard. So you just gotta really stretch and get that muscle released.
Okay, bring one for the serratus anterior then. Dylan, I know asked windscreen wipers. You're doing the example there. You ever do those?
No, because my back, I don't like the way it feels in my back.
I used to do them hanging,
So I just,
a lot of pressure on the shoulders.
Yes.
So I do them on the floor.
on the floor, yeah.
Let me break that down. Because you do it on the floor with the medicine ball on our knees. Whew. Feel that one.
Yeah, I modify everything so it doesn't put strain on my back and joints.
I don't know where my medicine ball is going, so I use my basketball. What about sports? You
I love
big on doing
sports.
sports?
This is my sport now. I love it. It keeps me active. Yeah, I'm a big sports fan. So play basketball, football, soccer.
Windscreen wipers typically like this.
Yeah.
I find that it's easy to overstretch on those, so I simplify it.
Oh, nice. That's a good trick. Yeah.
Medicine ball, Swiss ball.
That helps keep the proper range of motion.
Yeah. Otherwise, with our legs
Otherwise,
out,
yeah.
look, I'm overextending here.
That can cause a
With
problem.
this.
Yeah.
And I have my arms out, it keeps my upper back flat on the floor.
Shoulders open too, right there. So
Yeah, so great for working the lower obliques here. Oh.
and how about a floor routine? Do you do a floor routine after a couple at the end of burnout, or do you not? Or you just keep it simple?
Yeah, funny, I did a live stream the other day. 4 floor-based ab exercises. Let's break this down.
I always like to do some body weight exercise for abs.
Yeah, so let's just do a few reps on each. Basic floor crunches. Feet, hips, shoulder blades. For me, shoulder blades just coming up off the floor. It's not a full sit-up like this.
You're super isolated.
I mean, look, my abdominals are crunching maximally there.
A lot of people can't find that range of motion, but once you find that,
Yeah, I think of everything as this sort of half move shape between, I guess, my knees and shoulders.
that's why when people have neck pain and they're doing it correctly, this is
The hardest thing, people push behind their head and they pull that up. You can almost keep your head flat. I lift it up a bit. I mean, I do feel it, but for that, you've got to build up good postural
right.
muscles, good core strength. That's the reason we do this. I don't feel any strain
Right.
in
That's sharp.
in my neck. But yeah, basic floor crunches, 15, 20, 30 reps from here. From there, palms up, do some,
Like this.
I'm not pushing up. Again, I'm following that arc. My toes are coming up over my eyes, great stretching the lower abs, my legs come up, my hips start to curl up there. That's where they really get worked.
So how many reps are you rating in each
Tell
one?
you what, for years I've done
25?
30 reps,
30 reps?
3 sets, circular 3.
I did roughly the same thing, but circuit to 2 at the end of the heavy.
Great one for the sides as well. Some nice side crunches there. And then just for overall core strength, man, this is great that you got this here.
That's what most guys want to know, is like, what kind of routine are you doing?
Yeah.
So basically, a bunch of different shit.
Something here, but I might move. I'm on my toes, so I'm really having to work my core to stabilize, or something like this.
There you go. That's a classic.
And it's a challenge to me too, so my abs are definitely working.
Plus, you're on the ball, so it makes it even harder.
But those would be my basic floor crunches. And when I say basic, certainly adequate enough. I mean, I have them. These. What about frequency? Because for me, when I was really into the competitions and the magazines and the shoots, pretty much every day at the end of each workout.
I would do them every other day to build
Okay.
them, because I was just wanting that rest day in between. And if I did them every day, it would be like 50 reps, something.
Right.
I always hit like a dedicated ab day every other day for about like 15 minutes. At least just straight through abs. Like this routine should only take you about 20 minutes at the most.
That's right.
And you can just kill your abs like that. You don't need anything more.
Okay, whilst you do that one, I'm going to read through a few questions here and see what we got. Missouri, manage gym, working out when we're not training. All right. Amrit, I see your question. A couple of good questions here. Amrit, your question about training for the gym and managing kind of like an ultra endurance event. Look, I would say, and I don't train for those types of events, so I may not be the best person to provide an insight into that, but weight training has always been a core of my working out, no matter what my reason is. For me, that's just about keeping my body in check. So even if you are training for a marathon, triathlon, something much more endurance, I would still keep a weight routine in there, maybe twice a week, but instead of training on specific muscle groups, focus more on a full body. So, maybe on a Tuesday and Friday, for example, I'd go into the gym, spend 30 minutes, even if you're at home with a pair of dumbbells, barbells, and plates, do something resistance-based. And the reason for that is I still want to keep my muscles conditioned. I still want to keep the whole process of that glycogen, the muscle energy, and the metabolism working, as opposed to just focusing on endurance. So to manage your gym workouts and more of a cardio endurance based, I'd say maybe 1 or 2 full gym-based workouts, full body. Get some of the big movements in there. It could be some squats or some lunges or some presses or something.
Anything that keeps the heart rate up, basically.
Exactly, like a mid-blood workout.
Traditional bodybuilding workouts, it's a slow pace. You're not going to technically keep your heart rate that high, but eventually you will. But for some of you, you're needed in terms of conditioning, and you can include this training.
Yeah, love that. Dylan, you asked a question about alternate exercises for side bends. Check this one out. Resistance band, you can use a cable as well. What I'm doing here, in fact, I'll loop this around. That's a nice level of resistance. So basically what I'm doing is a controlled lateral pull down, bend if you like, crunch. Basically, I'm going to keep my arm fixed, crunch my elbow down, and really force those obliques to have to work to put it down. So, I'm holding up here.
That's funny. I do the same thing, but with a pull-up, lat bar.
Okay.
Switch the bar up to the close grip.
Yep.
And just bring it down, and just.
It's that movement.
You can
elbow
fatigue
down.
that. Serratus is so small. Couple of sets like that, you're fried and done. So, so.
Okay, Jeffrey asking about stubborn calves. I may not be the best person to ask about that.
Oh, what?
We do stubborn calves.
Stopping?
Stubborn. They're not growing, yeah. We'll do another video focusing on legs and calves hamstrings, quads, all of those muscles below the waist and up there. Now we're just we're finishing off on abs.
Do you ever do these for transverse muscles?
I like that with the overhand grip. Let's let me turn that around to show that.
I should just turn on this way.
There you go. Great angle there.
And these actually help stretch my back out at the same time. I'm getting a little lat stretch, and then I just emphasize on the core.
When we think about abdominals, in a very kind of basic movement, I think about a crunch, shoulders or hips crunching. Where you can think of a lateral type movement. People are afraid that that can thicken out the waist, but not through exercise. If you're pretty stocky, you've got a thick waist, you might want to limit some exercise.
I would
more rotational ones.
Yes.
But
That's heavy weight on the glutes is not something.
No, you know, I mean,
that will grow.
so we got crunch type movements or hip flex type movement. Definitely these lateral or rotational movements. Diego's doing more with the cable, medicine ball rotation, even just rushing to it.
And that just helps for overall alignment. You feel like you pull the center. It just gives you that stability and the core strength.
You know, we both done magazine work, and I think one of the keys to getting everything in check for sort of that cover picture is to display all of the muscles well defined. And to do that, it means we've got to train the body to a full spectrum. We're not just doing crunches.
No,
I'm sure.
You gotta hit every angle.
Yeah, so we're getting those lateral, we're getting the rotations, we're getting there's a full range of exercises.
I just picture you cramping up at every shoot. Yeah.
And with these, we're going to keep the hips fixed. Therefore, we're rotating around the torso and not simply just turning the body. So my hips are locked in.
Now that's the perfect waist right there. And that's a combination of aesthetic training, endurance training, conditioning, diet, and just a lifestyle. I don't think Rob has ever been over 10% body fat. And I truly believe that it's a lot easier to keep off fat when you're older if you didn't have it in your 30s and 40s, because I've been reading articles where fat cells have memories and they just come back a lot faster. And so I never did the bulking thing. And I think that kind of saved me in my older age, because a lot of guys that fluctuated with all that stuff have a tougher time as they get older.
Yeah. You know, I'll be honest, even taking my shirt off to train abs, because the other night, me and my girl went out, I had burgers, I had french fries, and people are like, they're like, do you ever cheat? And it's like, look, I'm a lot more often than people might think, but I make up for it by...
Yeah, like training next day, you're already...
So get this, instead of saying, oh, I'll wake up and do extra cardio tomorrow, I'm going to work at it, I'll create the deficit first. So if we go out to eat, I'll go, man, let me go put a weight vest on my bum 3 miles. Let me create such a calorie deficit, or at least muscle metabolic as well. So I came down, did some back workouts, lifted some heavy rows, went out, eat. I don't feel guilty then, because I know that I probably burned 600 calories. I might be eating 1,200, but at least that's 600 calories being produced and 1,200 calories being...
Well, the luxury you have in knowing your knowledge, you can do that in your head, and you can do that, and that's what people need to know. It gets a space where they're
earn your cheat meal.
Exactly.
Earn it. If you want to go out, go ahead and eat, but put the work in first. Don't try and save that work for after, because once you've eaten it and your body's digested, assimilated, and stored it as body fat, it's not going to be accessible as a fuel source to your workout tomorrow. Especially if you wake up, don't eat, go work out, limit your food intake for the day because you felt guilty because you overate. So create the need first, have the workout, lift some weights, go for an intense workout, then eat, don't feel guilty about it, and get back on track. Just like a false start with a sprinter.
That's the best way. I just picture when you said, oh, wait a second, I do that because you get a big workout, you go eat what you want, and it just puts your body in a higher metabolism rate. You're just absorbing the calories. You're not really have to say, okay, I got to starve myself for 3 days.
All right, how many more exercises? Let's show one more great version. You pick out one, I'll pick out one. Let's do something that people can do at home that's just a killer exercise.
I'll just do my floor exercise. Then I finish off. And it's basic 4 series. And this is just a crunch.
Oh yeah, that would be
And then a crossover, and like you said, you're only just really hitting that top part. You're just finding that contraction point, left, right, and then we'll go to legless, like we did, and then bicycle kicks, and that's my series. And, and then I basically try to fatigue them every.
It's a great thing. People can do this at home without any equipment. The only thing I'd say is you just gotta really get in tune with feeling the muscles work. You know, we call it the mind-muscle connection. Focusing on your breathing. So I'd say slow it down. Really get a feel for it, as though you're being filmed, as though you're being photographed. So that each rep you're executing the best that you can. It's forcing you to think about what you're doing instead of just falling into a mindless. Let me just go through the motions. I did 10 or 15 minutes. That's it, done. If you're not feeling it, I mean, each workout, the abs, I'm having to stop, catch my breath, and then mentally get myself back in check and finish off that set. I'm going to show a similar example with the medicine ball.
And then legless. I used to do these with weights, but since my hip flexors started acting tight, I just do the body weight, just slow it down. Because the weight was starting to really pull on my hip flexors.
Oh yeah, the amount of years I've done lower abs without using any weight, I mean, it's more than enough to work. The lower abdominis, the rectus abdominis, which is really having to work to pull and curl the hips up. I mean, if you're 205 pounds and your legs are, let's say, 70, 80 pounds, that's certainly adequate weight for the abdominals to have to work against that weight.
And then just like this, just get the whole.
So how long would your ab workout last for?
15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's
that's
full day abs, you know, for me. That's a hard ab workout. It's a complete failure and done. And that's it.
Dude, I like it. I'm going to show we'll show a little advanced on the ball. Same kind of thing. Again, it kind of teaches your body to go through the motions. I grip it. I mean, right there. Lower abs.
That looks brutal.
I do these hanging as well because it forces my body to stay in that range of motion. So again, knees to elbow. I mean, this really locks my lower abs in. There's no way I can
I'd rather
cheat it.
doing 10 of those that way than 10 just swinging around like that.
And then even started doing some, you know, the V-ups.
Right. I used to do these with weight, yeah.
I like doing these at the end.
So people just need to know how many reps they should be doing, how long. That's what they want to know about abs. I try to fatigue myself to a point on every set. You know, my rep range is anywhere from 25 to 50. You know, I'd say do about like 26 sets of different things, knock it out. Go from heavy, go to high reps, low reps.
Yeah, completely agree with that. Swiss ball crunches, again, one of my favorites that I used to do a lot. Feet would be up against the wall. As I curl up, it's really, I'm stabilizing. I get that nice hyper extension stretch there.
So you're doing two things. You're doing like a core exercise and then turn it into like almost a static one where you contract the top.
And I'll do this with my feet on a step. And I start to take out that stability factor. My abs are firing just to keep me stable there. Let alone crunching.
Now, that's a difficult exercise. How many reps are you doing on that?
I mean, that's kind of just fun. 5, 7.
Exactly.
Those are really, really tough.
They're tough.
I'm not trying to do a full set like that, but I would. I'd get 20, 30 reps out.
Those always good to do at the end.
Yeah.
Completely fatigued. And
I think it might just be, I think just have one leg up, stabilize.
Right.
You know, and from that you kind of build up to things where you can stabilize on the ball and really have good core strength as I face plant into the weight. But
yeah, you won't be seeing me on any laptop.
I used to stand on it, didn't feel much of a benefit, but even something like this and just doing some rotations.
Oh, that's hard.
Again, I'm not saying how effective it is, but just as core stabilization.
Oh, definitely going to use it, yeah.
You can do whole different things with
At
the
my
leg.
age, I keep things pretty simple, so I don't fall off it.
That's a good idea. Cool, so nice little ab routine there.
Yeah, that's all you really need. So, and then the diet part.
Yeah, we've got a kitchen here at the studio, so maybe another time we'll focus on that. But dude, appreciate you coming down.
Good workout, right?
Yeah.
Showing some new stuff. Love the spot. If you guys have any questions, let us know. We'll be doing this every weekend, and we'll hope to see you here.
Awesome. Enjoy the rest of your weekend wherever you are. Have a great week ahead. We'll let you know when we're back here doing another YouTube and Facebook Live, and we'll just get back into it with doing this and let you guys know ahead of time so you know what time to log on, what master group we're training, any questions that you can send ahead of time, and we'll just incorporate them.
I'm looking forward to a leg session. So if you guys have any leg questions, hit us up.
Awesome. All right, guys. Take care.
Dude, that's harder than it